Hey Twitter, happy Monday. Jerome here, coming to you from a small country town in the southern part of Australia. Trying out my first beginner SEO case study monthly update. Hopefully it goes okay, but very happy to hear your feedback on what's useful and interesting, and also what's not useful and not interesting, and hopefully we can improve this thing over time. Just quickly on the purpose of these updates, I'll just do one quick one a month, hopefully 4 minutes, 5 minutes. These updates will hopefully provide some sort of encouragement to other beginners so we can all help each other hang in there through those early years when you're building something and you're not getting any results yet. I'm absolutely no guru, so it's important that you take all this information and think about it yourself and make your own decisions. Definitely not giving you any advice, but very happy to share what I've done and my successes and my mistakes, mostly mistakes. So maybe it'll sort of shorten your journey or give you some ideas. But yeah, please don't take it as advice and do your own thinking about what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. Beware of the sort of correlation versus causation sort of logical fallacy. That's where, you see two things happen and you make the assumption that they're connected. When I was studying psychology, they rammed that into us like crazy for 4 years in a row. So yeah, just because two things seem to be related, they may not. Two factors that you see could be being impacted by a third invisible factor. So absolutely, when I say that I did this and that I had this result, it could mean they're related, or it could mean that both of those things are being triggered by something else that I'm not aware of yet. So just be aware of that. I'm only working part-time on these. I'm still working full-time job, got a wife, got 3 kids. So life is very full, but hustling when I can, mornings, evenings and weekends. Also trying to leverage, other people in terms of content writers and stuff to help keep things moving. But, I think that's definitely reflected in the results, that things are pretty slow and haven't really got anywhere yet. That's because I'm sort of plugging at it part-time. I'm going to focus on probably 2 sites on these case studies mostly, but I'm definitely a big sucker for shiny objects and interesting things. I'm always going to be trying other things and may mention some things occasionally about that, but these 2 sites are definitely ongoing and will carry on hopefully for years. So these 2 sites that I talk about today will be the main sites that I give the updates on from this point forward. So first one is an affiliate site. So there's 2 sites I'll talk about. An affiliate site, which is primarily based on physical product commissions, and then another site which is more of that sort of content publisher model, online magazine, where it's just publishing lots of info content and trying to monetize with display ads. But firstly, on the affiliate site, so the niche is kind of outdoors. I won't go into more detail than that. Founded in June 2020, so a bit over a year and a half old, 18 months now. At this stage, it's got about 200 posts. About 50 of those are like best XYZ type posts, and then another 150 information type articles. Definitely low competition sort of space, and very much going after low competition keywords. That's absolutely a cornerstone of my whole approach, because all of my stuff is sort of fresh domains, not using S-bind domains, so I've got no authority, and it's growing very, very slowly. Combination of me writing articles and paid writers. I definitely probably wrote the first 100 or so myself, but maybe the other 100 have been written by other people. It definitely is a seasonal niche, and we're coming to the in season, sort of over November, December, January, February. It's definitely the in season, so I'm hoping that that'll see a bit of an uptick in commissions. And it's very much recommending physical products that people then buy through a variety of different sort of retail e-commerce stores. And when they do that, I do get a commission. In terms of monthly activity on that site, the focus was, and the focus is, to keep building out some dedicated reverse silos for each of those best of articles. And I've aimed for a minimum of 3 supporting articles, but preferably 5 or 6. And so that was what I was sort of hoping to achieve this month. What I ended up achieving was 28 new articles published for around 20,000 words, just sort of working towards that goal. I haven't got all the silos there yet, but definitely getting them ticked off one by one. In terms of monthly traffic, I had just under 9,000 visitors, which is up from about 8.5 the month before, so about the same. And page views were slightly down. Don't know why is that. 12,500, down from closer to 13,000. But I did get a bit of bot traffic, a huge spike on one day last month. I tried to strip that out, but maybe I did my calculations wrong. So maybe that was feeding into it. But if you look at, I guess, the last 3 months from Google Search Console, you can see that, those sort of first 2 months of that wasn't looking no change, but those last sort of couple of weeks definitely can see some traction. So I have published a fair bit of content over the last sort of 3 or 4 months, and maybe some of that is now starting to be seeded and growing in the rankings. So hopefully that turns into clicks at some point in the next month or two. So in terms of income, total income for the month was just over $1,700, and that's an all-time high, so that's cool. And that was sort of separated out. Huge majority of that was affiliate income, so almost 1,700 of that was from affiliate sales, and very much hoping that that'll keep growing throughout the rest of the year and early next year as we come into season. And then that small remainder was made up of ads income. I've just added Ezoic ads 2 months or halfway through last month, so had a few dollars that month, and then up to $50 this month. And look, I'm never expecting the ads to make much of a difference, but that's more of a learning curve for me to learn more about ads and how they work and what sort of content leads to better revenue and stuff like that. But I'm hoping it turns into a nice little extra income that can offset hosting costs and tool costs and all that sort of stuff. So I have been very conservative with the ad placements, just doing sort of sidebar ads and then a floating sort of bottom, and then obviously just a floating bottom ad on mobile display. So very conservative with placements, and a lot of the traffic is sort of non-US, and we always know that's going to be a lot less in terms of dollars as well. So not expecting a huge change there, but I know it takes 3, 4, 5 months, especially at low traffic volume for Ezoic, for the AI to really tune into the most efficient ads and the best ones for that sort of content. So I think it'll still keep growing, but I'm not expecting that to be huge. But if that gets to $100 a month or something, that'll be cool. In terms of next month and beyond, the focus for that, hoping for another 10 to 20 articles. Keep working on those reverse silos, just with configuring the internal links. And then I also want to sort of optimize all my money pages, put it through one of the tools to maximize rankings sort of coming into the festive season. So given it is the on season, I think I'll just sort of create silos for the content I've got and then focus on optimization just to really try and maximize the clicks that I get. Because so much of my commissions end up coming from products that I'm not actually promoting, but if I can get them onto the site and get the cookie, really happy to take those commissions for other products that they buy as well. Now onto the second site, the ads site. Not sure how best to describe the niche. I think entertainment, maybe a really appropriate high level, but it's kind of like a hobby entertainment sort of thing. Founded very recent, so December last year. I'd done another course and had a certain sort of keyword research philosophy and content philosophy, so smashed out 10 articles in December, then realized I was way too busy, so I thought I'll just let it sit there and see what happens over time. And then I sort of got reactivated in about July, so I looked at it at July and actually started receiving a bit of traffic for those 10 posts. I think I was using like keyword golden ratio sort of philosophy with titles and stuff like that, which I've sort of moved past, but obviously some of that worked out okay. So I'd started getting a few clicks in July, so that sort of reignited my interest and decided to be a good concept to test out the sort of paid ads business model. So with this site, I'm doing a few experiments in terms of the type of content. I'm getting heaps of articles that are not that long, so 500 words, 600 words. Got some writers in the Philippines that I get those done for like $5 a piece. And for me, it's just testing out whether I've got any chance of ranking for that keyword. A lot of it's kind of like product comparison stuff, A versus B, all that sort of stuff. So for $100, I can get 20 articles seeded and just see how they go. So if they actually start becoming one of my top posts and start getting a few hundred clicks a month, I'll then go and optimize it and make it 1,000 words or 2,000 words. But I think I'm going to publish a huge amount of quite short articles just to see what gets some traction and then optimize those and sort of see how that goes. This one will be a pretty slow burn project. I hang around in a lot of other groups where people are publishing 20 posts a day, and I've got sites with thousands of articles, and I'd love to be there, but I'm definitely not. So it'll be slow burn. This is one where I'm mostly using sort of other paid writers, but I'm hoping to just keep pumping away 5 a week or so, get up to 1,000 posts at some point. But I'll just try and pump it up to about 500 posts and then sort of have a good look at the stats and renew my strategy from there. As I said, I wrote the first 10, but I've been using paid writers for all the ones since then. terms of activity on the ads site for the month of September, the focus has been simple: just keep publishing long tail info posts on relevant topics, trying to sort of focus on one little category at a time and get 100 posts or 200 posts for that category, and then move on, just to sort of establish a bit of authority and topical relevancy, just to make it clear to Google sort of what the site's about. So yeah, at this point, I've just picked one topic. I've got a writer focusing just on topics around that, and once that gets to 100 or 200 posts, I'll move on to the next topic. But given it's such a massive niche, I could do that for years basically. In terms of what we achieved, bit of a quiet month. My writer was a bit sick and had a few off months. So yeah, only got 9 articles published for around 9,000 words. In terms of traffic, just under 2,000 visitors, up from around 600 the previous month. So that's a really good step forward. And page views, 19, just down to 2,000, up from about 1,400. So again, that's pretty solid growth. Pretty happy with that. And yeah, the chart looks really good for that site, given the amount of content I'm shoveling in there at the moment. And that big batch of sort of 40 or so that I did sort of dump on it last month, looks like some of those are starting to get some traction, which is really promising. In terms of ads income, made a grand total of $10 from all the ads there. Again, using Ezoic, up on $3 the month before, so that's a good percentage increase. The EPMV is very low, it's only about $5, which is really low. Like that should be sort of 15, 20 minimum. So again, very low traffic numbers. It should be mostly US traffic, that one, so that should come good. But yeah, I'm guessing that'll take months, and I'm not worried about that at all. The main point is that ads are up, and the main focus is content. And again, my placements are pretty conservative. I think I'll definitely ramp it up once I've got content and traffic up to a 10,000 plus page views or something. But yeah, happy to keep it just as a sort of sidebar placements and bottom of screen hovering placements. Until things go a bit better. And I think I'll definitely add some affiliate links eventually, because it is very sort of product related content. But I'm just staying away from a lot of the more competitive terms like best and just other sort of more gentle mentions. So there will be some affiliate income eventually. But yeah, definitely not a focus for the time being. Focus for next month, again, very simple, just publish more articles. I was about to allocate a second writer to this site, but then the first writer just let me know this week that she's moving on to something else, which is a bummer because she was fantastic, but I wasn't really paying her that much, so I can't blame her for trying to get more money. So yeah, I guess the new writer, who was going to be the second writer, will now just be the main writer. So, and she's sort of a part-time student, again, from the Philippines. That works out all right for me. So I'm expecting probably 10, 20 articles a month, based on her sort of study load and stuff. And then, yeah, if I get a chance to write some myself, I'll do so. But yeah, basically, the primary focus will be getting the external writer to do that. If you want any more details on this, I've literally broken down sort of month-by-month stats from the very start for both of these sites. So I've started off, I've included number of articles published each month, how many words that was, impressions, page views, and something else. So if you want those details, I've tacked a real simple site together, beginnerseo.co, and I've got a little page for each site where it just breaks down, got a little table there where it breaks down month by month. And it's really interesting, I think, for other beginners like me, just to see how long it takes for those impressions and clicks to start coming in sort of after you've done the work. So you can definitely see there's months where, 50 posts have been done, and then you see traffic really boost 4 or 5 months after that. So I think that's really useful data for us beginners that are looking for motivation to hang in there when you're not getting the results. So if you think that'll be helpful, or you're just curious to see how traffic has grown for these sites and sort of what sort of content has gone into it and word counts and stuff, definitely jump over to beginnerseo.co, and I'll just try and give a real simple update each month, mostly through these videos. Some cool stuff on Twitter this month, if you haven't seen it. New person around called Affiliate Savant. I don't think they were around before, but getting heaps of value from her content. Looks like she's a real big player, making big dollars, and been around for a long time in this business. So definitely recommend giving that a follow if you haven't already. Super cool thread from Jake about finding easy to rank keywords. So definitely recommend going and finding that thread and having a look. I think it's about 4 or 5 tweets and super useful. Got some tips out of that were awesome. And also a massive thread, or I think it was just a single tweet, from Sam Rexford about a basic blog post layout, which was really useful as well. So definitely recommend you going over and following all those people if you haven't already. If not, looking up those threads and checking them out. So that's about the end. I think I've gone for about 10 minutes, which is about twice as long as I wanted. So apologies for that. Please share this if you think it'll be useful for other beginners out there who are sort of struggling with the same early stage things. And by all means, question, comments, feedback, please at me on Twitter, and I'm happy to catch up and keen to talk to you all. Until then, peace.